Views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. I represent Bahamian people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Baytown, bro. Where I from Baytown, bro. Right between West and Augusta, where them two roads meet, they call it Wilkinson Street. Manners and respect was like a sign blank check. It seems the ones that come in after quick to disrespect. You see, this life in the ghetto never easy. So many hungry days break till it grieve me. Way I doing the best I can, trying to turn my dollar to 100 grand. I represent the ghetto people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Baytown, bro. Where I from Baytown, bro. Don't take no back talk, no bribe or no joke. If you find fire, you're
good night, and welcome to Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. I'm your host, Valentino, a.k.a. Scrooge, or Governor, host of the talk show Inside the Inner City that premieres every Friday at 6:30 to 8 p.m. except holidays. Telephone numbers tonight are 323-6232, 325-4316, and 325-4259. You can text us, powered by BTC, at 422-396. Our producer in studio is none other than Chris, who has been doing a tremendously great job. And I'd like to congratulate all of the other rest of the hosts, Aaron Green, C. Nuri, Shoaga Lang, Naughty by Nature, and to all of the other rest who do a wonderful job of educating and giving reliable information out there, and also putting where right is, and as to question, what's going on in the country, and printing the newspaper as well for doing a wonderful job. And they give us a lot of information. So we are very thankful for all of the hosts on Guardian Radio, as well as the rest of the talk show hosts around the country who are doing an awesome job as well. So tonight show, we're going to talk about autism matters in the country. We're going to talk a little bit about BPL, the blackout, how everyone's sweating. We want to comment on that. And we also want to comment on the Princess Margaret Hospital ruin, Najaglin, and a newborn case. We were talking about the healthcare crisis we're in. Listening to information received from Dr. Dowell, Minister of Health. Basically, we don't need no information from him, but what we need is a way to resolve these problems we have in the country. It's a long-standing problem, and I think we are making strides to address them. But in the meantime, we go from one thing to the next. We have a high cancer rate in the country. It's estimated that 535 plus Bahamians, I think, will die of cancer or cancer-related illness in the country. The government now is trying, under the leadership of Mr. Dowell from the Ministry of Health, he compressed a plan where he would put safe checks and balances, where the government of the Bahamas is, in partnership with the Health Department, is putting together a full task force to examine, educate the Bahamian people on products that are harmful to the human body, that can cause cancer and other illness in the country, and also to ban those items from coming in the country, because these items itself leads to chronically ill diseases in our country. We all know that. So we have to give a thumbs up for that, But our healthcare industry is in serious jeopardy. Hearing these statistics with high diabetes and other chronically ill diseases in the country, we are in for a rough ride. Even an expansion and building, repair into the Princess Margaret Hospital, even the new hospital at this current state, if we don't try our best to get a healthy Bahamas, there's no use building these hospitals because these numbers are staggering. 535 or plus person die every year in the country. And then it is estimated that around the world, we're going to have millions of people around the world affected and die of cancer around the world and other chronically ill diseases. So with that in mind, when we look at the newspaper, we see Princess Margaret Hospital Road, negligent, and newborn baby's death. And like I always said this before, our country, we so critical of other nationalities that we ain't looking at the big picture. Every country around the world has professionals, whether it's nurses, doctors, mechanics, aviators, whatever field it is that are highly trained in their profession. Like, for instance, like the Cuban doctors are the best doctors in the world, by far. Am I correct? And then you have other persons who are the smartest people in the world. That's the smartest set of people in the world is considered people from Vienna, Austria. All right? So I'm just saying that in every country, the professional trade or whatever it is that these countries themselves develop their skills, they are professionals. And we in the country, we want to be all Bahamian. We want to be critical of every nationality coming in the country, whether it's a Filipino nurse or Haitian migrant who is very talented, or whoever it is. We like to go to Chinese with all the Chinese business and stuff like that, who are prospering in the country. We hard against that because we see the Chinese come here and they build up their business. The business is doing well, so we hard against that. We hard against Haitian nationalists coming in. We hard against if you're in the opposition, they're hard against them. No, there's something seriously wrong with us, and we're not looking at the big picture. Here's the bigger picture. I'm going to make this short before I start the show, but I just wanted to knock on this. When we look at Princess Margaret Hospital Road, negligent, and the newborn's baby's death. Let me just read this real quick. A Supreme Court judge has found Princess Margaret Hospital negligent in the death of a newborn girl after staff failed to monitor the baby and her mother for 27 critical minutes before an emergency cesarean section. Acting Justice Renard Rigby Casey ruled in favor of Widlin Glimmy, whose daughter Elizabeth Lundy died on August the 2nd, 2022, just over 2 hours after the child was born. The judge found that the hospital and obscure Dr. Folks Markey fell below the required standard of care by failing to monitor the lady and her baby between 4:10 a.m. and 4:37 a.m. as she waited to enter the operating theater. Let me just go to page 3, quick. Page 3, okay. It says here, he concluded that the lack of monitoring caused the injury to the baby and was fatal. I find, therefore, on the balance of probabilities that the failure to monitor the mother and baby in the period between 4:10 a.m. and 4:37 a.m. is negligence. And the defendant fell below the standard of care, Justice Rigby said. He ordered that damages be assessed by the Registrar of the Supreme Court and directed the defendants to pay Miss Gillenham's legal case if the parties cannot agree on an amount. The ruling followed a 3-day trial in June involving competing expert evidence about whether Elizabeth died from oxygen deprivation on an undetected heart condition. The judge accepted that the baby probably died from uh, hypothermia. The causes recorded on her death certificate rather than a heart defect. Okay, she arrived in the hospital on the 1st, 2022, at 39 weeks, and 3 days later, and 3 days pregnant. She was admitted in the private maternity ward after reporting contractions and cramping. She began pushing at about 2:05 a.m. Dr. Claire assessed her at about 3:30 a.m. and Dr. Markey arrived shortly before 4 a.m. The doctors decided to perform an emergency C-section after labor failed to progress. Mrs. Gilliam reached the operating theater entrance at about 4:10 a.m. However, she did not enter the theater until 4:37 a.m. While hospital staff awaited the result of a COVID-19 test. The test result was received at 5:10. The accident, what is this? What's it? The Envision? What's that say? Accident? The Envision was made 5 minutes later, and Elizabeth was delivered alive at 5:10 a.m. Justice Rigby found no unreasonable delay in the doctor's decision to perform the C-section or carrying it out once that decision was made. He said Dr. Clare and Dr. Markey acted promptly and did all they could to get Mrs. Gillingham into the operating theater. However, he drew a sharp distinction between the timing of the surgery and the failure to monitor the baby while she waited outside the theater. The judge said a heart rate deceleration recorded shortly before the decision to perform the emergency procedure showed some signs of distress and made continued monitoring necessary. So, with all due respect, when you hear that, right? The time, like I say, emergency is, if you get shoot, the time response of the ambulance, all that's important in saving lives. Because the quicker you can get the victim, stabilize them, see their injuries, and report them back to the hospital on exactly what needs to happen, this saves lives. You can stop the bleed out, you can stop hemorrhaging, quick response. Now, I know we're overwhelmed, and I'm not blaming the hospital. I know that our nurses, our doctors, they're overwhelmed with the volume of patients at the Princess Margaret Hospital. There's a staff rotation, and everyone is human. Okay, I understand all that. But at the same time, that's why foreign is very important, So they all got just always behaving, and we should have no foreigners be nurses and doctors or be whatever in the country. Sometimes we need things. We need other things for better care. So we allow some of the best set of nurses and doctors to come in the country to assist with our nurses and doctors so they could be on time to be able to monitor the situation. And some of these nurses and doctors from our nations, whether it's the Philippines, whether it's Cuba, whatever country has that nursing profession or doctor profession, and they're good at it, do you think it'd be bad for us to get them here? Yeah, we have problems and underpaid doctors and nurses and et cetera over here. We're not worrying about that. But we're saying with the circumstances surrounding our healthcare system, and every day we look, we read, we see something like this happening in our country. Maybe if we bring in some foreign nurses and foreign doctors from Iran, other countries that qualify and they have a passion for it. It would take a lot of stress of our doctors and nurses, and these nurses and doctors who come from this land, they treasure their job. Not saying that our nurses and doctors don't treasure their job. They're overstressed, they're underpaid. But these nurses and doctors who know they're going to come over here and get housed and boarding, right, getting a sniping allowance, and our dollar for dollar is equal to almost the U.S. So to them, they're highly trained, they are professional, and they take good care of patients, because that's what they train for, So it take a lot of pressure. So when our nurses and doctors are tired, they be on shift, And this probably can stop a lot of these negligent cases in our country from happening, because these foreign nurses and foreign doctors, they have something to prove. I'm not saying that our nurses and doctors ain't have nothing to prove, but they'd be getting a good pay where their money is valued dollar for dollar, and they could send back their money back home. So they'd be stable here in the country. So if they getting the minimum wage of $2.50, but to them that is not $2.50, so they're gonna put their value in their work. So we get better quality service. So when our nurses and doctors are on the strike or whatever, which they truly deserve, but sometimes, people can be lazy on the job, demanding if they're underpaid, so they ain't really doing their job the way they're supposed to be doing their job, or they're not monitoring what they're supposed to be monitoring. You understand? So these foreign nurses and doctors who we get from this country, even the teachers, could take the slack off our teachers here in the country because, our country's in a mess. So that's why I say, we need to think out the box. Foreign people who comes in the country, once they have their paperwork, they come legit. We do their background check, and we allow them to be a part of the Bahamas. And they will contribute greatly. So when our nurses and doctors slunk and who went on time, these people would be there. And that's how we got to think to get this country fixed. And before I go and start the show again, I just want to say about negligence again. We just have in the newspaper now where we have an individual who was out on bail for armed robbery, who missed signing in the police station over 80-something times. Okay? Got bail, and now he is accused of killing the person who he is accused of robbing. Now, again, that's negligence. Now, you know what that means? The police are responsible. Not directly, but they're supposed to be monitoring this individual because he has missed 81 times. So he's supposed to be in jail a long time. He ain't even supposed to be on the street to even get to nobody or to hurt nobody in the country. That's why he get bail. That's why he's on ankle monitoring again. And I'm going to say this to you again. Where we have so much criminals, right? So many people on anklet bracelet, right? Our police system cannot keep up with the monitoring. They just can't. They don't have the manpower. Just like the hospital of the manpower to be there, unless we get foreign nurses and doctors. Our police officers here as well, they are overwhelmed. And they can't, that department that monitors people, they could do a better job 81 times, automatically that's going to bother. But you don't let us say, well, I was looking at this one person here. If you know how much people who was on anklet bracelet, who the police was tracking in the country, it ain't no excuse. But I'm just saying to you, that's how it is. Same thing with backlog in the court. The cases now, I don't care how much costs they make, but increasing murders every year, like 80, 90, 100 murders every year, 70, 80 armed robbery, car accident, drug cases that go back to 1999 but has not been resolved. There's nowhere in the world, I don't care how much court they make, can resolve the backlog in our country. So I tell you, we're in a mess. We're in a serious mess. We're in a serious mess. So anyway, I just wanted to get that part in, because I like to tell it how it is, and that's how it is. We need foreign nurses, we need foreign doctors. We need foreigners to come in our country. And you can say I'm talking foolishness, but if you want better service, you need people who are qualified from other countries. The Bahamas can't run off Bahamians alone. Okay, we could forget about it. All right? We could forget it. We were thinking that way, that Bahamians do everything. Yeah, we might could do everything, but we could be lazy on a lot of stuff, because people think they're entitled, they're part of a political party. They could be in charge of the hospital, they could be in charge of anywhere. And because they're political connected, they feel that, they don't have to serve the customer. They bad attitude, cause you get fired if they don't like you, and you could be the best person at that position. And that's what we face in the country. You understand? So we need foreign help in our country. So I advise the government, if you could go and find foreign nurses in countries that could come back to the Bahamas and assist the BM nurses here to relieve them or to be helping them take shift and to provide manpower, I say do so. All right? Because we could reduce the negligence of a newborn baby just because of technicality of monitoring. So these nurses and stuff would read the chart and they'd be on time. Someone's always supposed to be with that woman checking on her. She was never supposed to be left alone in the first place because she's going to surgery. But I'm just saying to you, because of the volume of people at the Princess Margaret Hospital, these nurses and doctors moving up and down checking patients. And then they forget quickly, And then again, it's about the time it takes to deal with this particular surgery that this lady was going to have. Every minute was precious. You understand? So that's all I have to say on that. Okay, I just want to talk about the autistic. And then from there, I'm going to let Chris play the first clip. But I just want to talk about the autistics and autism in our country. Okay. See, me as a person from the inner city, right? When I talk about the hospital, I talk about the prison, I talk about the poverty in the community. All this is a concern of mine because all of these things I talk about affects the people of the inner city community, of Camp Road, Fox Hill, being in Grandstand, Mason Addition, Fort Charlotte, Yellow Ella. I speak for you guys. I speak for all the parents. I speak for you guys because I know what we need for you guys because I've been a part of it. I've seen what we need in this country. So when I see teens, like parents of autistic children overwhelmed and fearful due to limited resources, I with them. Because in the inner city community, I think we don't understand. We have a lot of kids who are autistic in our country living in this community. Through my corner, we have 2. You understand? And their parents, single parent, right? No parent, just uncle and auntie. And then a father who himself is disabled, have an autistic son, living close by me in proximity, one to the right, one to the left. And it's so hard for them to get assistance. All right? So let me just read it quick. See, these things are important to me. And every community in this country has someone who has an autistic problem in this country. Are we going to build an autistic community center? Are we going to build a grants where we can let children go and wander where they can see a lot of wildlife? It could be a community center. Like how we build in the hospital there. We need a spot like that. A few spots there where you could have the autistic children go and see the wildlife, the birds and stuff like that. And little stuff like that. They like nature, that kind of center, So let me just read. The Ministry of Education, Science and Technology will establish a national autism registry as parents and guardians warn that gaps in education, therapy, and post-school support are leaving families overwhelmed and fearful for their children's future. At a town hall meeting at Stephen Dillett, parents describe years of struggling to secure assessments, schools, placement, therapy, and support for their children while they're facing costs that some said had pushed families to the breaking point. The breaking point. And yes, there are thousands of families in this country who have children who are autistic, who are in need of support right now. They are all out. It's very expensive to deal with autistic children in this country. You understand? So all of these things, I'm speaking of from hospital to autistic, I'm all for that because all of them are part of the NSC community, and these are major concerns of mine. I think they need to be addressed. But I want to read this voice and call. I'm going to let you come on. Let me read this little phrase voice. So don't go nowhere. So one mother said the absence of service after students leave school had left some parents terrified about what would happen to their children after they died. I have met parents who told me, I pray to God my child dies before me because I don't want to leave my child here because there are no resources. It's true. It's true. It's true. She said, when your child reaches the 12th grade, that's usually the happiest day in the parent's life. But when you have a special need child, that's your worst day because you don't know when your child is going to go. You don't know who is going to keep your child. The meeting was held in collaboration with Resources and Education for Autistic and Related Challenges. The grandmother of a 5-year-old child on the autism spectrum said she followed the Ministry of Education procedures but encountered repeated obstacles while trying to enroll her grandchild in school. She said public clinics turned the family away because of the child's aggressiveness, of the child's age, the child age, and calls were returning. And calls were not returned after an online application was submitted, leaving her feeling as though she had been given the runaround. Mom, you are being given the runaround. Now listen, I saw the minister responsible for social service in this program talked about a few thousand, I think $100,000+ to this program. That's a slap in the face. No disrespect to the minister, he or she. But when they said that, and they talking about, I don't know, it could be anywhere less than 200,000 or 300,000. I'm not too sure. That's a slap in the face. The autistic program in this country need at least up to 300 million. Started off with 100 million and help the parents with these kids, Build centers for autistic children so they could take the pressure off their parents. And that grandmother's right. And that parent is right. If they die and they leave their children here, the children would suffer. There are a lot of autistic children now, not because they are suffering. They are suffering because of the lack of resources the family has. Okay? The deal with the pills, the deal with the food items, and, the time, you have to leave a job, it is time consuming. So we need centers just for autistic kids, and we need professionals. So we could get some of these same professionals from other countries to come here and come up with creative ideas with some green space so that we can be able to take care of the autistic children. The parents could go to work and the kid could be in a safe environment, monitored closely. And we need some foreigners to come in the country because, like, again, our Bahamians, you see how our Bahamians get turned around from being in our country. Caller, you on inside the inner city. Go ahead.
Hey, good evening, Scrooge. Thanks for taking my call, brother.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I'm glad you're talking about the medical issues and different things like that because I said I was going to call you on a particular issue. I had a conversation with Dr. Sands yesterday, but Scrooge, I think from listening to you talk about the autism, right? And you say, one to the left, one to the right, every family, etc. Scrooge, we have to take a deeper look at our society and ask ourselves, was this the case decades ago?
No.
No. We didn't have this problem decades ago. Like we had one or two individuals.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you go places, you might see a child who, I hate to use the word retarded, as we used to call them then.
Yes.
Right, but you'd rarely see one in church somewhere, or
Mm-hmm.
One maybe in the school here or there. But it wasn't all over the place we found children with these type of disabilities, mentally.
What you
know,
think?
that kind of way. So
I know what you get to, but I gotta let you finish. Go ahead. I know what you get
so
to.
it's
Go ahead.
obvious something is going on.
I can tell you what's
know what
going
I
on
mean?
when you finish.
And see, and the reason why, like I said, I was going to call you is because yesterday Dr. Sands was on,
Mm-hmm.
and he was on God's show,
Wow.
and I was asking him about a call that I had made to Perry Gomez, and Perry Gomez was the Minister of Health,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because Perry Gomez was involved in some talk about having individuals from Canada, I think it was, come down here and use some type of experimental drug on our people. And I had called the show, and I had asked Perry Gomez, why would he allow that? You know what I mean? Like, et cetera. So, I mean, but the thing about it is that when I asked Dr. Sands about it, he was kind of not openly at first, but after I questioned him a little more, he said yes, that there were these AIDS clinical trials and other type trials that go on here.
Mm-hmm.
But see, what I want to know is how aware are we known? How aware are we? You know what I mean? Brought to these issues, because I might be an individual who would maybe testing this thing on, and I don't even know I'm a test subject.
Mm-hmm.
You understand where I'm coming from? I mean, and just to push it a little further, there might be some reward, some type of payment that might be due to me for getting this thing, for being a test dummy. You understand where I come from? All these little things involved in it too. But see, but the thing about it is that I had asked, I'd said to Dr. Sands that I was concerned because breast cancer is something that is also a serious issue in our country, right? And I said to them, we may call ourselves Bahamian Scrooge, but we all come from Africa, right?
That's true.
So why is it that our black women here have the most aggressive form of breast cancer? Right? They catch it at an early age, and per capita we have the most.
The food
Like we leading the world in them things, right?
Yes.
So after I finished the call or whatever, he said they know something with the BRCA gene. I heard him talk about this BRCA gene, but Scrooge, some type of BRCA gene mutation. But Scrooge, when did this gene mutate? Because he can't find it in Africa. If it's a gene thing, then it should be in Africa because that's where we come from. They implant us. They take seed called Bahamian black people and plant us in the ground and be born here and grow here. But to say it's genetics. If it was genetics, it would be from Africa too. Do you understand the point I'm making to you, brother?
I understand.
Yes. So I mean, so my point is that where is this cancer coming from? But this thing I don't get. So they talking now that they have this BRCA gene shot, right? That is the issue strictly to the girls, right? But then they start giving to the boys.
So what
you understand? I mean,
so what you're trying to suggest? You're trying to suggest it did something to the human body genes when they give you these shots?
See, the thing. But what I'm trying to say is that I'm not buying that BRCA gene story as to why our women have the breast cancer, because it doesn't make sense. Because why is it only black women here?
It's targeted. It's
we
targeted.
didn't originate from our own self.
It's
we
targeted.
Came from Africa. So,
we are
so
targeted.
If it's something that's in our genetics,
yes,
it should be found someplace else other than here. Do you understand?
I understand where you're coming from.
We're suffering. Now, Scrooge, between me and you, we know we live in a country that's very slack.
Yeah.
I mean, when I say, like the older I get, I'm beginning to appreciate more and more just how slack this country is. But you got to be old and mature to really look at society and really appreciate how it's supposed to be governed and really appreciate how slack this country is. You understand? I'm from Brother
It is.
Yeah, so I'm just happy that you're talking about this autism thing, brother. You know what I mean? Because like I said before, I wanted to mention that breast cancer thing, because I don't believe that. And one more thing too, brother.
Go ahead. Yes. I was talking about it last week. Estrogen and all that stuff.
Yeah, and what it does to boys.
Yes, it changes.
In particular, because it turned the frogs, male frogs.
Yeah, that's why we have a lot of guys right now trying body. Excuse my language. I ain't worrying for your body.
And honestly and truthfully, Scrooge, like some years ago, I was walking around. I was looking at the little boys in particular, right? And I say the little boys, them don't look at they have the little man.
No, they whinging.
Like how we used to have it.
They whinging. They get more wine.
They don't look at they have the boy in them like how we had the boy in us.
No, they whinging. They get more wine than their mother and sister.
Yeah, like the boy. I mean, you understand? Look at them because and it was like I said, this something I had noticed some long time ago, right? But after I saw that thing about the oxygen, I say, man, listen, this could be the reason because
it is the reason.
In the little boys,
it is the reason. It is the reason. It is the reason.
We as responsible men, Scrooge.
Yes.
Because imagine if this type of thing continues within our people,
That's
right,
why
we're gonna have a bunch of autistic,
yes,
feminine people. I mean,
Yep.
autistic children who can't really do anything, like who can't fend for themselves, who can't really run a country, right? You have a bunch of boys who believe there's girls, a bunch of girls who believe there's boys. I mean, what kind of people we could be, brother?
That's exactly what happening now, brother.
You understand what I mean? Like what kind of people will we be? It seems as if, Scrooge, someone is out to destroy us.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Without a doubt, is a plan to destroy us. But who is that? Who is that? Who you think doing that? Again with the Scrooge. Remember, in the Bible, Scrooge, Herod, Pharaoh, and all the other slave masters, all the other oppressors of the people wanted to control the population.
It's depopulation, as you're saying.
They wanted to destroy the boys. They wanted to destroy.
Back in the day in the Bible, it's in the Bible. Before he spawned,
we have Herods and Pharaoh
still today.
in our time too, because we were enslaved.
Yes.
You understand? But the problem is that our oppressor gives us our food, our medicine, gives us our diagnosis. He's the one who tells us it's a BRCA gene.
Not
You
saying
have a good day, brother.
Not good.
I appreciate the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You make some valid point. Okay. And you want an example? The COVID-19. They questioned Dr. Fauci. Fauci got pardoned from former president. What's his name is? I can't even remember his name. Former president. I can't even remember his name. Last president of the United States. Okay. He pardoned Fauci. I was watching it. Some of the questions about the COVID-19. Now we've seen that COVID-19 was the flu. But yet still, a lot of people who took it, a lot of bodies they're finding in the morgues now, bodies completely changed. There are going to be new diseases, blood clotting. A lot of people are dying and a lot of people falling on dead because they take the shot. It accelerate heartbeat, giving you blood clot and stuff, and it's linked to the COVID-19. But yet still, the World Health Organization and the leadership of Dr. Fauci, he and his team, and to tell the truth, Donald Trump was against Dr. Fauci when he became president of the United States. What did he do? Donald Trump was again, he told you he have all the information available. So when Dr. Fauci was saying one thing, when the World Health Organization, I listened to Donald Trump, who was the president. And if the president and the United States president is sponsor the World Health Organization, and they stopped sponsoring the World Health Organization because Donald Trump was not supporting the COVID-19 because he didn't believe in it. He said his own professionals. So if the president of the United States was saying it, okay, and then you have the leader, Dr. Fauci, on one end, and like I say, Donald Trump stopped sponsoring the World Health Organization because he said the COVID-19 was a fluke and fact, it was killing people. And now you go do the research now. So all the time, people were locked down. People were living their lives the way they want to live their lives. All of a sudden now, you can travel, you can work, you were discriminated against if you didn't get this COVID-19 shot. The world was against people who didn't take the vaccine. Okay? This evidence. Go look at the time when Donald Trump was president and when Dr. Fauci was head of the World Organization. See if the president didn't go against Dr. Fauci. So, like you said, and that's evidence, so people could say what they want, but the evidence is there. But you know what? Time has passed and people forget. And you talk about autism. You're correct. The food we eat. Today in this country, a lot of kids autism because it passed down in their blood from their parents. If their parents ain't healthy and they're taking some bad stuff in their system, growth hormones in the chicken, some of the chickens that come in the country. He talked about the thing that turns the toad into a male and female. Some of the SMA, okay, some of the SMA that in our food store. Instead of we giving our kids breast milk, we give them SMA with this estrogen in it. And that's what the caller was talking about. Go look on the labels and these changes the growth hormones of both male and female in this country. And they should not be allowed to be in the country. So that's how it is, And, someone tell me a text, say, Scrooge, please do not follow Trump. Trump wanted us to inject bleach. That is not right. People died of COVID-19. Less people died who took the vaccine. Less people died who took the vaccine. Less people died who took the vaccine. I know everyone has their opinion. But I know personally, I didn't take the COVID-19 shot. I didn't get sick. My family didn't take it. And ain't nothing was wrong with them. And a lot of people in the city community didn't take it. Thousands didn't take it. Some few people got it, but no one actually died of COVID-19 in the inner city community besides that who wasn't living in the houses and whatever, etc. So yeah, so there are evidence that is proof that there are people out there who, in the pharmaceutical world, who are doing tests medicine here in the country, So we just have to be careful what we eat in the country, And a lot of our chronically ill diseases, they are directly linked to a lot of items in our food store, hair products, arm deodorant, okay? Makeup that should not be allowed in the country, that are giving a lot of women breast cancer. Even the bras and the panties, that the material, So ladies, you have to actually look at what you're putting on, even though they look nice and they're cheap. They may look nice and cheap, but the fabric they're made of would go through your skin and put toxin in your body. You understand? Okay, so we're going to start the first part of the show with that's BPL, right? Okay, we're going to BPL, talk about the blackout, where we all sweat.
Following an island-wide power outage that left New Providence residents without electricity for hours, disrupting homes, businesses, and operations at Lynden Pinley International Airport, Prime Minister Philip Davis visited the Blue Hills power plant where an overnight fire triggered the widespread blackout. The Prime Minister says his administration inherited an aging and outdated electrical system and insisted the government is taking steps to fix it.
The only way to have it repaired is to replace much of what we're doing, hence replacement of grid and the other components that's necessary to ensure safe and reliable electricity through transmission and distribution. And so my visit here is just to affirm our commitment to the major transformation that we have undertaken to ensure that we do in fact have a reliable and affordable system of electricity. Well, as I indicated, it is incidents like this that demonstrate what we have inherited, and we are fixing it.
Davis also appealed to residents for patience as Bahamas Power and Light continues its restoration efforts. Meanwhile, BPL Chief Operating Officer Anthony Christie explained what led to the fire.
This cable underground may have had a fault or a condition that once it became overloaded, it would have exploded, or the fault would have became apparent due to the load on it. And that's, in this case, what happened. Now, once that happened, the chain reaction was other cables in that same immediate vicinity would have also faulted. And that's what we're facing right now. So again, due to loading, the unit itself initiated, the transformer took itself offline by tripping, and then we tried to restore. Then we found out there was the fault, and the fault exposed itself through the explosion and the incidents that happened at the 3 locations identified.
BPL CEO Tony Seymour cautioned that customers should expect additional power interruptions as crews carry out repairs to the damaged system.
We apologize to the residents of New Providence because we know that it's an inconvenience. We know that it is very, very hot, and we understand your frustration, and we are working as safely and as quickly as we possibly can to restore supply.
Christie said technical teams have been assessing the damage, testing equipment, and working to restore the transformer that provides electricity to a significant number of customers in New Providence. Until those repairs are completed, several communities will continue to receive electricity on a rotational basis.
So they're working along very hard and safely to make sure that they're able to restore supply within the next 10 hours. There's a lot of work involved. Teams excavating, they're running new conduit and new wire or cable in order to connect this transformer and restore it to the grid so that we can return these customers to service. Right now, we do have some of those customers offline. We're doing rotational supply. to ensure we lessen the impact on these customers. And again, the team is working hard overnight and today to make sure that we can get this restored as soon as we can.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Vonnie Tu.
Yeah. So why should you sweating, you know? Sweat, you know? Where it was hot. You know, everyone get catch, you know, and they give their excuse, you know. We only human, you know. We heard the Prime Minister say it's the old system they inherit. You know, Prime Minister ain't no God, you know. No man is no God, you know. We have likeness of God by doing what's right. But to say put faith in man, and this is no short of the Prime Minister, you know, or no one in authority. You know, God is the Almighty. You know, He gave man power. You know, Prime Minister. You know, he can't fix all our problems. You know, I think what our country really needs is that find alternative solutions. I don't think the blockades are never going to stop. You know, you heard the Prime Minister. Every time I listen, we buy new transformer. You know, for the last 20 years, we've been buying transformer, turbine, and all this stuff. So I don't know what age and equipment you're really talking about, because every time I look, there are millions spent on buying equipment every 5 years. You know, so I don't know what's going on. I think this what I think the problem is. I think the problem is this. For every new subdivision that we build in the country, we tied onto the grid. For every new hotel that comes in the country, we tied on the grid. So I don't believe, no matter how much they try to fix the problem, you have the overload, fault. Overload means that the line that they're talking about that got disrupted. That line only supposed to, like, 220 is supposed to come. And I just giving you an example. Only 220 is supposed to come through that line. That's what it could stand. Just say 10,000 come through it. You understand? And it can't handle that. So it burn out and catch fire. That's why they're saying that they're on the ground. It's going to take 10 hours. They're going to do rotational shifts. Means that, you know, we're going to have Carmichael Road on for a little bit, give them a couple hours of light, and we're going to break the power out to some. We can turn them off and revert it to Grandstand. Let them have for a couple hours, then we're going to revert to let the people in Mason get some light. So they're reverting, you know, I think that the hotels we build in the country, I think that they need their own power grid. I don't think they should be hooked up to BPL. I think as long as we keep on building subdivision for grid, you know, contractors, you know, and then you got to tie these grid on, then people using the AC in this heat. You understand? So it's going to be tough. They're asking people who have a high demand for electricity to break down the supplies on using the AC and stuff like that, so they can revert power to other places around the country and reserve, so that they can go back on it, so that they can get full power around the country. But as long as they have places, hotels, new subdivision they're building, and they don't have a power plant, you know, I watched the former Prime Minister Hubert Ingram. He built a power plant in Abaco, deal with the power problems in Abaco. So I think that any major company that comes here, I think the government needs to consider on how and what way are they going to get their power. They might get some from BPL, but they have to find a way on how they can either solarize it with a big solarized field, or you build a thing like what John Boswick talked about, where he said you build a sea water power plant, you know, out to sea, that can run the whole Bahamas. John Boswick talked about it. So maybe some of these hotels or resorts that we're building, you know, even Paradise Island might need a power plant like what Hubert Ingram built, but I don't know if they got the space over there, you know, or one of those power plants that John Boswick is talking about. And that would take a lot of screen off BPL. where we have people who involved in the energy business, gasoline and diesel, people in politics who own the major companies, they don't want to think like this, you know. They want to link up with the BPL because BPL buys the diesel and gas that fuels the generators at Clifton Pay or whatever. So then they get their cut from government because government is paying them for a barrel. And they are part of these companies. So they making big money. So they ain't thinking about upgrading the system or bettering the system. They want everything tied in the system because they get to cut more subdivision, more rural, you know, and more sweat for us. Okay? So we all sweat. So like I say, I believe anything that is building in the country, whether it's a subdivision, we have to find a different alternative to supply them with energy. We can't just be hooking everything up to BPL. Calling you on the line, go ahead.
Yeah, Scrooge, how you doing?
I'm fine. Good night to you.
Personal question.
Yes, sir.
How old are you?
I'm 52, born 1974.
Huh?
52, sir.
52.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I think I can put your talk into context. Okay.
Yes, sir.
You're driving around Nassau, right?
Yes, sir.
Check and see how many buildings that were built before 1967 are still standing.
Mm.
And then check and see how many built after 1967 have been demolished.
Mm.
Now you see what I'm getting at, right?
Mm-hmm. But explain to the people what you're trying to get at as well, so they can get a good understanding.
Okay. When politicians fight among themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
For some reason, they don't seem to be into maintenance.
Okay, I know that's what I know he's getting. Go ahead,
Okay.
sir. Go ahead.
They don't seem to be into maintaining what they have built.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, the old Western Senior, Columbus Primary,
Mm-hmm.
the place of Dalzell Street. Okay, you know, those old structures, right?
Yes, sir.
You will not see a crack in any of those walls.
No, because they build strong and maintenance.
But you know how many buildings have been leveled since 1967?
Wow.
Clarence A. Bain,
Yeah.
Rodney
The
Bain.
the post office. The one down from the post office, the registrar office, I think.
Okay,
Down
there's
there.
a long list. I
Yeah.
mean, even the agricultural thing on Bay Street.
Yes,
is
on the
still
side of
standing.
on the side of yes.
Okay, see, I don't think we have a culture of maintenance in our country.
I get you. And upgrading.
Are people into new things? Even when the government change,
Yes, sir.
isn't them? They don't want an old car. See, our appetite, our problem in this country is our appetite. And what tell you, this pie in the sky stuff, it's almost as if he don't have to fulfill his obligation.
Yeah. And then we all suffer.
All suffer.
Yeah.
Okay, now, I think our biggest problem, and nobody wants to talk about it, when we were going into independence, right?
Yeah.
There's a story in the Miami Herald where A.D. Hanna said that, you know, we are going into this new era, right? And we're going to allow all the gambling licenses to expire. As you know, that never happened.
No.
We even sacrificed one of the founding fathers of the nation on that issue. And see, I don't think our people know the price that they're going to have to pay going ahead.
Well, we paying
We
it
have
now.
signed on to some stuff, buddy.
That we can't get over.
Even our independence, our date, the 10th day of the 7th month, is taken from the Jewish calendar. It's called Yom Kippur, the holiest day in the Jewish calendar. We need to step back a while because I think our main problem is that Pastor Moxie.
Mario Moxie, President Crystal Council, newly
Yes,
elected.
He called.
Yes, he did.
He called for this nation
To repent.
to, he called for us, us to repent. But
Yeah. He talked about the church too.
his call was aimed primarily
At the church.
at the churches.
Yes, he's right. He's right. He is right. The church has the church.
See?
He's right. He's right.
I mean, even when Carlton Francis got mashed up,
Carlton Francis. Yes, yes.
got mashed up.
Great civil rights leader. One of the greatest men in human history for standing up for what's right.
When he got mashed up, the pastors at the time did not stand with him.
No, because they was in the politics.
They was in the politics.
Yes.
And as long as you in the politics,
And
what happens with any people,
you
with any culture,
you
they prostitute religion
you lose remorse.
before all the bad stuff starts to happen.
Yes, yes. You're correct.
And we've been going downhill since 1973.
Yes, sir.
We hit a low in the 80s.
Nah, That's
and
a
the
drug.
hope was we would come back.
We ain't come back yet.
But seems like, we just into our own stuff.
Yeah. Yes,
We
sir.
into what we want. But I can
Then we sweat. And
I
then we
can
see what
almost prophesy
and then we sweat.
we are in a season.
Hey, then we sweat. All those. Hey, you think the Heat worrying about who was PLP and who was
Man,
F&M?
this heat ain't nothing. hey, I talk. There's an old drunken guy who's been hanging around my place, right?
Yes, sir.
And the guy was having this, say, boy, it's sure hot today, man. The sun hot. And the drunken man nodded up and say, hey, you all think the sun hot? Wait till the father show up.
Hey, this ain't no normal son. I swear.
Wait till the father show up. You say,
Yeah.
the sun hot? No, wait till the father show up.
Yeah.
Now, I never expected that to come out that guy's mouth.
Yeah, so don't judge a person by their book.
Boy.
Because they see them drinking that they say some true words. Boy, people who want that drugs and you listen to them, boy, I tell you, they tell you some things and they'd make you look. Because you ain't thinking them words coming from them. Some of them is be pastors and they can see the future. Don't sleep on them.
Oh, boy, so even demons tremble, son.
Yeah. We in a serious state in this country, man.
Anyway, my brother, you keep on doing your work, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, we are in some serious problem in the country, Like I say, I listened to former Prime Minister Menace. He was referring to comments made to Jobette Colby Davis. She's the MP charge of BPL just recently. He said that, you can't blame her. You got to blame the technocrats. When he's saying technocrats, he means the people who are in charge of BPL, And, again, the guy just talked about, maintenance. Well, I heard of Dr. Minismoke. It's good to listen to former prime ministers because when they're in government, they lie and they don't tell you the truth. But when they're in opposition or when they go to government, and, they stand in front of the media, so now they ain't obligated no more because they ain't under the rules of parliament, so they could speak. And he was speaking. And, I like to listen because I listen to people's words before I say anything. So I listen to the clips, I read the newspaper. If I ain't see things in my eye or I ain't get information from somebody who's credible, I ain't gonna come with you and speak it. You understand? So before I speak something, it has to be said from that person, the individual mouth. Okay, so he said it. And he said, we shouldn't blame Miss Colby Davis. So, listen, he said that, when he was prime minister, he was talking to technocrats at BPL or at that time, and they assured him that everything is good. Yeah, prime minister. He said they say all kind of yes to him, or else we have it up in about a week or two. And he said I only exaggerate with a week or two, but this how the technocrat from BPL telling them him and his team, because they want to please the prime minister. Probably they had big F and them poison up there, and they want to please the prime minister because you get a little cut, so you got to make it look good. So sweet the prime minister right that up. This is what the prime minister, this is what the former prime minister said. He's saying this guy sweetie head right up, so he gone in the news and he started saying, oh no, y'all ain't got no problem with this light, blah blah. Less like the same thing. Miss Davis, Colby said, this summer, we got this. Ain't gonna be no blackout. So all we had is blackout. So when she opened them out, all we having is blackout. So when people see these things, right, like the previous caller just said, they believe these as omens, Like one time ago when the Minister of National Security come on, he said, crime gone down. When you look, guys, crime skyrocket the minute he opened his mouth. So people, us who's Bahamians, us who have our folklore, we see that as omens. And we see that as a curse. That's how we see it. Pastors have to tell us that. That's why we see all these plane crash, all these car accident, and then we say, we settle as a people, we try and code on one another. Then now, BPL, punishing all us, punishing the PLP, punishing the FNM, punishing the coalition, punishing everyone right now. You think, because we still have a country to run. You understand? And if we ain't running a country of godliness, these kind of things will happen to us, and even worse. That's why a lot of people saying when these car accidents, now BPL, and especially when Ms. Colby Davis said, look all of a sudden now. So they say now God mad with us. Well, you can't blame the people. Probably mad for true. They say, she said, then you look, blackout after blackout. And look, crime is down the other day. They say murders was down the other day. Now look at murders going right up. Skyrocket right up. Huh? And the thing is, watch this, Chris. This is a whole different generation of guys who shooting up the place. This ain't even the old school. This ain't even 5 years ago, guys. These young guys, who charged for different offenses right now. And guess what? They get charged for serious offenses. They raid before the courts right now, facing indictable cases. You understand? And just throw away their lives. And that's the cycle out there. It's crazy out there. So, boy, whew. I don't know what to say. So people are right, when they see things like that and they say, we curse and things is gonna get worse. We have so much problems in this country, man. We so small. Every day you look, ruling negligence. So being with people, man, you see foreigners come in the country and they're talented, let them come help you. Let them come in our country, because when our nurses and doctors and our technician, like the pipe company, and people say the pipe company gone, and after they gone, after the shooting and some type of dispute, everything going wrong. It's crazy. I know what to say. I'm going to take this call on. Let me see what that Sparky? Go on, Spark.
Hello.
What's up, Spark?
Mr. Scrooge, how you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Boy, Scrooge, I really don't know what to say no more. It's so depressing. Scrooge, I don't understand why we keep talking about our leaders, our gods, the Ethiopian God, this Bible, the next Bible, we is Christian nation, and this and that and the next. And we still on the plantation, We still on the plantation, Scrooge.
Yeah.
We still saying that we bow down. I don't know if I should say this. I don't know if I could say this. But we still bow down to the white master, the king. We service our king and his heirs and successors. Our people tell us they going down to Bay Street to represent us. We cannot buy no property in our country no more to build homes. We can't go to the bank to borrow no money to build no home. We got to wait for the government to build low-cost houses and move us out of ghettos. And then when we move from the ghetto to the low-cost housing, we turn the low-cost housing into a ghetto. We bring the old trucks and jet skis and buses and everything from McCullough Corner, and we bring them down in other places. And the man gave us a nice little beautiful home to plant food, fruits, and vegetables and stuff like that. And we turn our homes into ghettos again. But look at Scrooge. The Chinese come and they take it as Chinese. The Haitians come and they get illegal land and they build communities. The Jamaicans take care of Jamaicans. The Filipinos come there and take care of Filipinos. Everybody come in the country, taking over the beachfront property, taking out all the best properties, and the Bahamian people left over the hill like me and you. Because over the hill, the south side of the ridge, from Yamacraw to Liberty, on the south side, they put us in something they call the crab pen.
Sparky running that on, man. Oh, Lord. Oh, anyway. Listen, people. I don't know what to say. It's just crazy, you know. Sparky making his point, you know. But listen. I don't know. Listen, I see so much weakness in our country, and I see so much strength. I see so much potential in this country. But in the state of our country right now, self-governed black people, we ain't making no sense, man. She be ringing the British in there, man. You know? They do maintenance, you know. They won't let our hospital run down, you know. They won't let the communities run down. They let persons walk the streets, give out infractions, you know, running in the city community. You know, the stuff like what Sparky is talking about, you know. I doing my best in my community. I move tons of trash through that community, you know. The assistants, Mr. Simmons and his wife, you know, they assist me with the garbage bin and a few other small but very valuable, free for the community of Grandstand, you know. I provide that through their assistance and one or two other things we do inside the community that they assist me with. Small things, you know. And up to this day, we are still moving trash, you know. People are calling me every week to put a bin somewhere through Lewis Street, H Street, or Taylor Street. And you could ask anyone if the bin is from behind, the bin is free to them. And if they don't have no one to clean up the yard, you know, I send 2-3 guys to clean up the yard free. Okay? Free. You know, communities need monitoring, you know. If we want no cars on the side of the road, etc., then we need a maintenance team that service the area and can give out citation, working with the Ministry of Public Works, who has connection with urban renewal. And they have the power that when they walk through the community, they see a car that is mechanic is fixing a car on the side of the road. They have the rights to call a wrecker immediately, give this person a citation. If they don't move this car within 24 hours, the car will be removed and they get a ticket. We need persons to walk the community, find the owner and tell the owner, look, you need to come and come fix your house. We don't want this overgrown lot here. We want persons from the Ministry of Environment to be walking around the community. If there's rat, a place where there's a volume of rat, we will have to come through as part of community initiative to get rid of the rats in our community, help stabilize the rats in our community. You know, we need maintenance, you know, in our community, you know, with partners with government. You know, we need social service, we need public works, you know, the Ministry of Environment supposed to be first on in these communities and working along with citizens in the community, you know, to make the community better. We're gonna take this next call. Go ahead, caller. So it's a lot.
Yeah, bless this school.
Hey, bless up, 52.
Yeah, you know, what you reminding me of is that there's a lack of clairvoyancy and care and concern and nothing until problems emerge, right? We have a rodent crisis, right? These rats so smart now. I believe some of them have labyrinths all the way down and all. They running around all around the place up in front of me. And one man make a joke one time. So you could see the same rat by Burger King in the yard. Right? He never did like them. He used to put poison on all over the yard. Then when he can't find them, he calling me
Yeah.
to come look for them, right? But my rodent bill is at least $40 a month because I buy the poison to put down for them, right? Sometimes they mix it up to make it even a little juicier for them. But
Yeah.
you have a rodent crisis. They're all about man. So ordinances are lacking. People riding motorcycles on the sidewalk. No lights in the night,
All
speeding
kind
up
of
and
stuff.
down. We have people doing everything they want to.
There's a
People
lot of
stopping.
country now, man.
Listen, Squishy, yes, you bet you. People having conversations in the road, right? And there's a lot of migrants breaking laws, so they don't, especially in the city, where they're so numerous now, right? I saw a guy having a conversation in front of a store, right? The Asian lady that's going by, so he's boldly holding a conversation and impeding traffic. Traffic is piling up, but he's still having a conversation. All of this is disrespect, So I just turn it off, but some cars in front of me. There's a crisis going on, a crisis of disrespect, a crisis of neglect, a crisis of reject, right? I'm telling you, Scoozy. We lack a lot of ordinances. The government don't pay attention to something until there's a crisis like the dog population that they've been tourists attacking. It's 2026, about 20 years ago or more, right? I'd say around that. Some pit bulls attack and kill a guy through Newport Street. I don't know if you remember that. You can go in the archives.
Yeah, I remember a long time ago.
So, for me, I know we are all hypocrites. We are a nation of hypocrites, but I like to say this, right? We are a hypocritical nation, Squishy.
I agree with you.
And you're a man from the road, right? And even talking alone could get you in problems.
Yeah, man.
We are a small nation. When they divided up these properties and stuff, they were not clairvoyant because 50 by 100 close to one another, people could hear all your businesses. So it really was designed to create a panopticon, like spying on one another.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you can't, they want us to talk on one another, but they don't talk within the government.
Mm.
They have their secrecy. They have their cabinet. The police have their blue water silence. We can't speak out against the violence. Like I told you before, money was taken from me during the search a couple of times, and so I still didn't get my money yet. How hurtful that is, Scoochie, in this day and time. You know what money is? Scoochie, that's hurtful,
Mm.
You know that, right?
Hard-earned money.
Yeah, so I'm rich then. That's what I'm saying. I don't deserve, I wouldn't say the amount, but it was a significant amount. But people are suffering injustices every day, But as relates to Christianity, the alignment of church and state, Big You'd sing the song a long time, Hypocritical System, Blow Black People Mind. It was Jim Squeechy. The song named Jim Squeechy. Go on YouTube and listen to it, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, Jim Squeechy. So he knew this long time. And so in history, you have Constantine. Was very smart. He aligned himself and made himself ahead of the church. So he's one of the first guys to do it. He realized the power that he can gain by aligning church and state.
He changed the Sabbath as well, too.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
He changed the
this is why
Sabbath.
the church aligned themselves with the state. They realized the power to be hard.
Yeah, that's why I say Constantine changed the Sabbath.
So I'm not looking for anything to be solved. You see, you a little earlier was talking about all the judgment that is taking place. This is just revelations. That's all. Revelations of the times. The truth will be. I had a conversation with a friend, and he was saying darkness will come to light. That is aphoristic. That is an aphoristic statement, right? A truthful statement that cannot be denied. Right? But I hear these people calling, talking about July 10th, et cetera, When there was no calendar, July didn't see it. You understand what I'm saying?
That name after Julius Caesar. He added them on because he was jealous of Augustus, I think.
But what I'm saying is July 10th, there's no fixed religious significance in Judaism.
No.
What they're saying is the Jewish calendar was really based on the lunar calendar, the dates each year of standard Gregorian calendar, depending on the specific year. So the Pope Gregory is the one who introduced the Gregorian calendar. And then about 1580 something. I can't even remember. Doesn't even matter.
That's a man who changed all that. The Sabbath, the calendar, everything.
Yeah, but this shows you the power what they have over us today.
That's the man. That's man. Yes.
Yeah, man. So
that's
what
man.
I'm saying is,
man changed God. In other words, listen to this. Man changed God's word. Man changed God's word. When God said the Sabbath is on a specific day, Constantine came as a man and changed that. Now we follow man tradition, not God tradition.
Yeah, you're correct, Squishy, but we know he ain't got nothing to do with God.
No.
Because we're looking at the way the world is today.
Yes.
The two religions, let's go back to this. Sparky mentioned this before, too, about, they call it, it's it's the Reformation, with King Henry VIII, et cetera, Tui, divorce, Catherine, and when Mary Anne Boleyn, and the Pope didn't give him, the Pope and Sir Thomas More. We read the book. The book was in high school English literature. So he decided that he'll declare himself head of the church, hence the Anglican Church.
Yeah.
So the two of these churches are built on mind controlling religion.
Yeah, mind controlling
and
religion.
Then the transubstantiation of the Pope, where he is God on earth, because that's what vicarious Christi means.
Yeah.
And that's what transubstantiation means. He is Jesus Christ on earth, which is BS, right?
The Pope.
But you can't put me in trouble for saying that, because that's exactly what it is when you was a Rastaman, and say, no man could connect you with God and disconnect you with God. You see me? The only way we can connect with God is when we sit and take counsel with one another,
Yeah.
So what you have now is a religious dictatorship going on,
Yeah.
a scientific dictatorship, in which you, as a subject or an object, I rather say object, because they see you as an object, in which you have to abide. Like the other day I was by the tattoo, and so I didn't realize what time it was. I saw one of my nieces. She's a chief inspector. That's why I ran up and hailed her, but I saw everybody standing still. And my little son is running around. So, but there's a reason why I didn't keep still, because, if we only come together and stand still for the independent, the national anthem, but can't do that for anything else, you think I have any respect for that type of crowd? We need to stand together with many other things, Scrooge.
Yeah, like the hospital.
I have to rebel.
Like BPL. Like how we standing together now with BPL at the hospital and all that stuff. Only if we could do that. Only if we could unite like that.
I have to rebel because we living in the hell. I ain't got time to worry with these humans. I soon out here. That's what they trying to do. Judgment coming,
Yes,
Justice,
sir.
Scrooge. Our inner cities are filthy. You go up in the inner city.
Yeah,
Our
man.
inner cities are filthy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The hospital, one time I was in the hospital, Scrooge. Once I feeling well, trying on the surgery, I know the quick I started moving around, I lessened in the chance of blood loss, et cetera, et cetera. I went to the southern part of the hospital, and I meditated through the window, and you know what I saw? You know how the southern part of the hospital look. It's a very inglorious sight. So, God help me if I got to go there. I think I don't know. So I didn't even want them to find me, man, to be right there, because I tell me, I didn't even believe in the funeral and posing off for people to come look at me, because when you hear 52 dead and gone, just remember your own death. You see what I'm saying, my brother?
Yes, sir.
People just get frightened and talk about death. Life and death. All of you are friends. Give thanks.
Yeah, man. Thank you, 52. Sparky as well, and to the other callers who are calling, boy, I don't know what to say about our country. For a beautiful country, as the Bahamas, one of the richest, we lacking in so much categories, you look at BPL, I'm going to say what I say, Human Minister said. And he was talking, and he said, you cannot blame Miss Colby Davis, because, like he said, when he was there, technocrats told him that, the system would be up and running. And when he left, from talking to those individuals, some other technocrats tell him, say, Prime Minister, you listen to that guy? Say, we ain't nowhere. Listen to this word. It's on the interview. He say, ain't like that. So, like I said, when Ms. Colby Davis come and she said what she said, she's not God. Right? She's not the queen, okay? She only saying these things to please the people on the base on the information she gets from the technocrats who run BPL. And we all know the system is run down, all right? The system could have been better a long time ago. But like I tell you this, I know genius. Too much subdivisions, too much hotels, okay? On our grid. Hotels who want to come and invest, subdivisions that wants to be established based on government contracts, and people clearing out land and building these subdivision consumption to build a subdivision on BPL at its current state. What I should suggest, we should try find ways, and like I say, floating power plant, or find a way we could build a next few stations somewhere. I don't know. I don't know. Or build what former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Alexander Ingram built for Abaco, the power plant. Things like that. We got to be creative. He was able to accomplish it, and that was sustaining Abaco. I saw him build a whole power plant. One of them big power plant looked like a back of cement truck. It was on the nose, and he built one in Abaco to sustain the energy crisis. Take away some of the load shedding, I guess, the BPL. So as long as they keep on building new subdivision, building hotels, and it's on the grid, so that the profit of margin of making money goes in the hands of people who are in control of the petrol industry in the country. You see it go deep, and they themselves do not want that to happen, We have to go solar, so yeah. It's crazy. What that last clip was on? All right. Pentop was responding to the Prime Minister, right? So earlier I played the clip about the Prime Minister. How much more minutes we got? Let's play the one. This is in response to the Prime Minister's claim. I was supposed to play Pentop after the Prime Minister, but I was so busy running my big mode I forget to tell Chris play the opposition leader after Prime Minister Davis said they'd inherit the system that is now at the BPL power plant. That means they inherited from the F&M administration. So in response to that, I like to be balanced. I was supposed to play this one, but F&M leader Michael Pentop, so I want to play that now. This is response to Prime Minister Brave Davis said they inherited the system from the former F&M government. Go ahead.
This is the unbelievable headline by the chairman of the PLP. This brother cannot be serious. When the F&M left office in September of 2021, Station A at BPL was online, 135 megawatts of power. We had an additional 35 megawatt of power that came from the GE generators. Furthermore, we brought those assets that were already offline back online. So generation was not an issue under the Minnis administration. As you went into the summer of 2020 and 2021, there wasn't load shedding as we are now seeing it. So despite all that the PLP has promised, what they have failed to say is that they're responsible for what's happening to Bahamians across the country right now. They canceled the Wadzilla deal. That contract for Station A was ended by them. And then, of course, they took the GE generators offline. We stabilized the transmission and distribution network. Was there more work to be done? Of course. We never denied that. In fact, we had planned a $50 million upgrade. That upgrade to the system was going to happen through the rate reduction bond, the same rate reduction bond that the Davis administration came in and canceled. The PLP has come up with some not so bright ideas. You recall that they canceled the hedge. The other thing they did was they gave away 200 kilowatts of power free of charge, free to all customers. Those who could pay, the very wealthy, big companies, as well as the most vulnerable who we should be protecting. That added up to roughly $8 million per month. Monies needed in order to upgrade the system was being given away. That has affected the effectiveness of BPL. The Bahamas Grid Company was supposed to, again, make the transmission and distribution system A-OK. That has not happened. Not only have they not completed the upgrades that they have promised, and they keep giving updates on that, the principal foreign investor has hit the deal. And we don't know the full details as to why or to what extent he's still receiving resources. What's the bottom line? What accounts for the chaos that we now are experiencing with BPL? The PLP. They have had carte blanche, in other words, no of what they have done in terms of privatizing BPL, and yet they have not been able to provide cleaner power, more affordable power, or worst of all, consistent power for the Bahamian people. This is...
Man, when you listen, right, see, I told you, like, he is a former, he's still he's still a member of parliament. Not, member of the government, opposition leader Michael Pentop. He still is MP for his constituency of Grandstand, but he also was one of the MPs at the time of the Free National Movement. So he was picking back on the situation concerning BPL, remarks made by the Prime Minister, and then he talked about the next individual who gave a scenario about BPL. And it's amazing to see some of the things canceled. You heard what the major companies that will receive special treatment. All right? Free. Okay? Now you're wondering why we load shedding. No, I'm not taking a shot at the government. I'm trying to show you where your power going. See, you can imagine this. See, one of them hotels, right, that they're billing, consumes about half of the Bain and Grandstand area, right? All those AC and all those water heaters and stuff like that. And you can imagine 400 rooms and all them turning on with AC. So where do you think the power is going to go? They're going to leave us off on the line, the fault, what you talking in line, with load shedding, with all of this happen, people. Because as long as we keep on building hotels and tie them on the BPL, ain't nothing to go on, so. Blackout, we got sweat. Or everyone on the beach, you know? That's good for you. Only joking. Only joking, you know. I just want us to live better in the country. We have a minute or two left. I'm going to let's call a call real quick. Call you give it 2 minutes.
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening.
You know, the problem is our power. Our power company is steadily privatized. What they do is we sell it to people who are middlemen. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see how they need to be a middleman for the government. The power for generation, power generation. But for the what you call it, they can own the what you call it the automotive. Gas, right, fuel and cooking and the like, right? High power generation. The government will direct, you understand me, to the big people rather than deal with these middlemen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's our problem, you see.
The middleman.
Our government saying they progressive, right? But they are, at least they saying they dealing with progress, but they are making progress, but it's not progressive progress. It's conservative progress. It's privatization progress. That's our problem.
That's it.
So and the thing with the which we need, we have a Volkswagen. We need a Jaguar or something. You understand what I'm saying? And the company said that all these things, but they don't have the money to give us what we need. And you know, besides not, they shouldn't even own it. You see, we look at countries like Dubai and things. These people own their power generation. Yeah. They own their resources. They own the economy. They own their what you call it, all the hotels. And that's they own it. The government owns these things. And you realize, you know, we always thought, we need X amount of citizens, right? We need X amount of people to work.
Yeah.
Man, Dubai, the UAE, that's many different sectors, right?
Yep.
Different people, right?
Yep.
These people is only 10% of the voting. So in other words, they have expats, all kind of expats, but these expats cannot work. In other words, they don't have citizenship. They are permanent residents, but not citizens.
And they contribute.
That has a problem.
Yes.
You see?
And they contribute.
We need Uncle Tom leaders. You understand me? Selling out this our people. You understand me? To the powers of the world.
Yes.
You see, we used to talk. I said the show been on the other day. They're saying that Haiti's the asshole country and certain countries say that. But if we can't keep the power on, we saying different.
No, we ain't no different.
The same countries. What's the name we talking about? You see. But anyway, it's all about red and yellow and green and black now.
That's why we.
That's
why we sweating.
Right. You know with gangsterism, right? That's all it is. A gang is a gang. That's all the political party is a gang.
Yeah.
Anyway. People who got control, you know what I'm saying.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thank you much.
Yeah, thank you very much. I wish I could give you some more minutes. We completely out of time. To all the callers, you guys did a wonderful job. To me, like I say, We need foreign nurses. We need foreign doctors here in the country. All right. We need them help. We need assistance. Some of them will treat us way better than would be getting treated at the Princess Margaret Hospital. Okay. They would be spare. When our nurses and doctors are tired, we'd help these Filipinos, these Cuban doctors, and some even from Africa who are well trained to come down here and be able to deal with some of these negligent cases, to take away some of these negligent cases in the Bahamas, and they would make up the slack. And then we get better treatment. Foreigners can add quality service to us. You had a guy talking about Dubai. They have them expats there, and they have no citizenship, but they contribute greatly to that country. They can't vote, but they contribute because they love the country, and we need it here in the Bahamas. You understand? My name is Valentino Brown, aka Scrooge, host of the talk show Inside the Inner City that premieres every Friday at 6:30 to 8 p.m. on Garden Radio 96.9. Bless the bell right, and to everyone, please drive safe. Drive with due care and caution. Don't think those accidents that happened lately can be you. Slow down. If you're drinking, make sure that you have a designated driver there with you. And if you are passing in your car and someone is speeding, you don't be afraid to tell them, hey, slow down, hey, or let me out this car, okay? Because the life you save might be your very own, okay? So enjoy your life. See you next week for God's Spell Life.
I represent Bahamian people. I from Nassau, Bahamas, big up Bintan, bro. Boy, I from Bintan, bro.